welcome to the bleeping league, Mo.
Well, this is what happened. They worked out together this offseason, and Joel Embiid was like, oh, I can't wait to welcome him to the league.
Okay, so here we go. Embiid responded with the comment, bruh, that's a block, layup, whatever that is. You were barbecue chicken on the post tonight. You had 4 fouls in 8 minutes, young fella. I would have fouled you out in 10. That's a welcome to the league. To which Mo Bamba commented, fair enough. I'll be back in the lab tomorrow to work on it. Until then, enjoy the poster. I'll send it as a Christmas card as well. The end.
Be patient with Mo Bamba. There is a potential for a Giannis-style projection for him. Very raw. But don't think Giannis not shooting, because dude can shoot right now. Absolutely.
You have to think about a different type of development.
I don't mean skill-wise. I don't mean skill-wise. What I mean is they're not very similar players at all. What I just mean is a guy who takes major leaps year to year and who, like Giannis, might actually still be growing as an NBA player. Giannis was his rookie year.
Fun to watch, though. It'll be fun to watch.
Absolutely fun.
Time for stories to start your morning. Leonard Fournette will be out indefinitely after aggravating his already injured hamstring. Fournette had already missed weeks 2 and 3 with the injury and left during the first half against the Jets in week 4. Nick, how big of a deal is this for the Jaguars?
I don't think it's that big of a deal because I don't think Leonard Fournette is that much better than TJ Yeldon. I know he was drafted as such. He's paid as such. His production has not been as such. Now they built their offseason. See, as you pointed out, they added Andrew Norwell. They don't want to.
Smart guy.
They don't want to.
You do listen.
Yeah, they don't want to throw it with Blake Bortles a bunch. So I get that part of it. But I think TJ Yeldon can give them the production they were getting from Fournette.
TJ Yeldon is only a complimentary player. He is not a starting running back in the NFL. And as long as the team is run by Tom Coughlin and Doug Marrone, they're going to be a physical, run-first football team. As long as they got Blake Bortles, they need explosive players. So the team is built as if he's a star.
Well, the star in Tampa Bay has dimmed a little. The Fitz magic has apparently run out. The Bucs named Jameis Winston their starter after yanking Ryan Fitzpatrick at halftime of the Bears game, the one they lost. Jameis will have the benefit of the upcoming bye week to prepare for his first start. That will come against the Falcons. CC, was this the right move for the Bucs?
Yeah, that was the only move that they had. They got one franchise quarterback on their roster, and it's Jameis Winston. It's not Fitzpatrick. You are not beating Drew Brees, Matty Ryan, and Cam with him, okay? Your only chance is if number 3 is out there, and you don't lose your job because of the suspension. We're getting ready to see a bunch of guys come back this week. We're not questioning, well, why are they starting? Well, what's Mark Ingram doing? Well, what about Edelman? They're in the lineup the same way Jameis should be in the lineup in Tampa.
And Jameis better hit the ground running, better look like he's continuing his progression, because that defense is as bad as people thought it was going to be headed into the year. Now, the offense had been explosive, but they're going to have to score a lot of points in Tampa to win games.
All right, moving on to Aaron Rodgers. They beat the Bills 22-0, but it wasn't good enough for Aaron Rodgers. He called the offense terrible after Sunday's game. See, what was your reaction to Rodgers' comments?
I didn't have a problem with him telling the offense it was terrible. When he starts isolating, the play calling, getting guys the football, he's taking a shot at the head coach. So this is one of Aaron Rodgers. He does this about quarterly, all right? He gives you about 4 a year of little zingers from his press conference. He lets people know that he's a little irritable, and I can respect that, because I come to the office a little irritable every once in a while. But this is Aaron Rodgers, though. This is the way he does it. And you know something, Jenna? Just like McCarthy and them, you're going to have to deal with it. You know why? Because I got talent. Eat that.
How did this even become?
There is the see. What do you always say? You like people's self-awareness, and that might have been your most self-aware moment on television of the year. That was Listen, Aaron Rodgers, he said Devontae Adams should have had 20 targets. You're the quarterback, bro.
Yeah.
Throw him the damn ball.
Right, absolutely.
As Coach said, what are they going to do? Bench him? Like, I mean, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I ain't the stir that stirs the drink, but I keep it chilled around
Let's go
here.
back to it. Just to recap a little bit. Moving on to college football now, Jimbo Fisher was caught violently grabbing the face mask of linebacker Tyrel Dodson in Saturday's game against Arkansas. Fisher has been criticized for the incident by fans and media alike. He attempted to explain his actions yesterday.
Listen, I was trying to get a young man's attention is all we were doing. I didn't grab it. I didn't jerk it. And to keep him from trying to make it was an emotional, football's an emotional game. He was caught up in the emotions of the game and trying to get him shook up.
He was just telling me to just stay focused, and he needed me, and I totally understand it. I totally understand it. The media was, was making it look more than what it was, but he was just telling me to stay focused, and he had my back no matter what.
Because I told him, I said, I can't lose you. You're our team leader. You're our team captain. You're our leading tackler. You call the signals. You do everything. And I was just trying to get his attention, to keep him back in the game and not make a critical mistake and lose him in the game, in a second. I was not trying to berate him. And if you look at the film, when I did it, I pushed him. I tapped him right on the head, and I said, no, we can't have you out of here, buddy. We got to keep you in this game when we go. And I turned and walked away. And he understood that. And that's exactly what it was and all it was.
See, what was your reaction?
It's not a good look. And Jimbo Fisher, I know Jimbo. Jimbo, I would consider him to be a friend. He's a good college football coach. It's been a long while since the cameras caught someone doing that. And for the most part, people who aren't around football all the time, they would think that that would have been out of football. But there are instances where, and they haven't been great examples.
Where what would be out of football?
The actual grabbing of a player's face mask. That was normal part of training, coaching, getting guys' attention. The one thing that we have to understand is Jimbo, now, he did shake him and he did grab him, but he does have a relationship with this player. He wasn't trying to chastise him. Typically, coaches are trying to chastise you or demean you and control you. Now, I don't like it. I believe he could have said the same thing because he's got a relationship. He's the defensive captain. He's their signal caller. And he's right. I can't afford to lose you in this game. It's just never going to look good, and people are never going to accept a college coach, high school coach, Little League coach. I remember one time I had a problem with the parent coaching Little League, and I grabbed her son. And she said she was going to file a lawsuit against me and everything, but she left out some critical information. He had just slapped one of his teammates. and she, in her reporting me to the commissioner and to the league, she left that information out. I was like, yes, I grabbed him after he slapped one of his teammates and one of my kids that I'm responsible for. I didn't hit him, but I grabbed him because I thought he was going to hit him again. So it's not a good look. Most college coaches, this is out of coaching. Jimbo, I like the fact that he did try to explain it because the optics and stuff, people will never, ever approve of something like this. It used to be a lot in football. I saw it a lot when I was in college. And when they used to grab me in college, I used to be over in the huddle mumbling, I wish he would grab me like that. I wish he would. Because most coaches, they know how to communicate with their players. Jimbo felt as if this was necessary in this instance. I think he could have done it a different way.
He didn't tap him on the head afterwards. And I get you're
No, he tapped him on his backside. Now, a lot of times how you remember things and what they happen on the sideline, now that's not the criminal part.
Right.
All right? Like, because you don't remember, but watch the whole tape. You can see that the conversation was not the normal grabbing a guy by the face mask, a Woody Hayes punch, or anything like that. You could see that he tried to get conversation. You don't have to do that to get a guy's attention, though.
You don't have to do that. And the part of this that, and I'm glad you said college, high school, little league. We don't see this in the pros, but I would have such a smaller issue with it in the pros. Because
no, you're not going to see this in the pros. I would have more of a problem with it in pro football.
Well, the reason I say it is this, is the power dynamic is so skewed. You've got one guy who's not only a grown man, but the highest paid employee in the state of Texas, against a kid on scholarship. And there's a reason that there are certain things that used to happen that don't happen anymore. Now, I will say I've learned something on the intense college coach front. I believe there is not a better human being that's a college coach than Frank Martin in the South Carolina basketball coach there. Now, he's become famous for like his Frankenstein look and screaming and yelling. He would lay down in traffic for his players, and to a man, every player that's ever played for him loves him. And so visually, sometimes I see it, and I'm like, man, that's bullying, that's ridiculous. And some guys, it's how they communicate. But nobody gets to communicate by putting their hands on you. Nobody does. I'm not here to say in sports it's like a regular office. Why do you have to yell? I get it. It's a different workplace. Like effective leaders in other workplaces don't scream and yell, but in athletics, they do. I get it. But you can't put your hands on the kid. You can't. And he kind of, he didn't really apologize. He said, I didn't grab him and jerk him. We did grab and jerk him. Your point is you misremember it to a degree. I also don't think it's fair to go to the kid. What's the kid going to say?
Right.
But the kid, of course, is going to say, no, it's all good. And maybe it is all good. And maybe the kid was potentially going to get himself thrown out of a football game, or he was going to go out of control. If I'm the Regents at Texas A&M, when I give Jimbo Fisher a 10-year, $75 million contract, it's one of the reasons is you can communicate your message effectively without
having to touch,
without using being physically imposing on a guy. Like, I think that's a real part of it. And so it's unnecessary, and it's good that it's no longer a big part of sports, even football.
All right, let's move on now. Let's talk some Mark Ingram. He returns to the Saints this week after serving a 4-game suspension for performance-enhancing drugs. Ingram is expected to add to one of the league's most high-powered offenses, which has been lights out with Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas. Ingram was so excited to rejoin his team, he met them at the airport on their way back home. CeCe, how much more dynamic does Mark Ingram make this Saints offense?
Well, first, Mark Ingram, outside of Drew Brees, is one of the most popular guys that they have there on the Saints.